Welcome back to our first match of tonight's doubleheader. It is Chicago versus San Francisco. 2 games are down, and we've still got 3 more to go. But let's visit that scoreboard if you're just joining us and get an update on the score. The Optx take an early lead in this matchup after 2 games, 10 points to Chicago Chimera's 3 points, and there's still a lot of points to be made up here, and we're going on to FIFA next. So let's introduce our 2 FIFA players here tonight, starting with the Chicago Chimera. There we have eafra, won FIFA at the Combine, had a nice win over Cregan BG, won 2 new FIFA drafts in 2008, and always a very, very cool guy. Had a chance to just talk with him a little bit, and he's always just really happy to be here and excited to be getting into the action. He's going up against this guy who last year maybe didn't have the greatest FIFA season, but so far he's had a remarkable season in FIFA. It is Stermy, a veteran pro gamer, played many first-person shooters, now moving on over to FIFA, and so far this year doing a fantastic job. Just goes to show that this guy knows how to train for games. Very versatile. Right? He's 2-0 already in the North America regular season, so it's going to be fantastic to see if Stermy can pull out a third, and who knows, maybe eafra's going to bring it. Chimera definitely needs some points here, so well, let's break down how the points work here in FIFA 08 in the CGS. FIFA 08 is a cutting-edge soccer game in which 2 competitors face off as their favorite national teams. Every match consists of 2 4-minute halves, and the winner is the player with the most goals at the end of regulation play. And every goal counts as 1 point towards the team's match total. Ties are settled in a penalty shootout, and these goals also count as 1 point each towards the team's match total. FIFA doesn't have the highest point-scoring game necessarily. Correct. Sometimes if it goes to a shootout, it can indeed rack up some points.
2,
but
3, 4,
you know, we saw Stermy go 4 goals to Cregan's 1 in one match, and right now Chicago's really looking to put some points on the board because they are down by 7 against the Optx, and we are in the game now. Let's quickly review what teams and what colors each player is. For Chicago Chimera, eafra is playing as Brazil in the yellow, and Stermy is playing as France in the blue. Stermy has a shot on goal, and he makes it. Goalkeeper's going to go ahead and knock that one out of the way. That will set up a corner kick here for Stermy, and we talked about this a little bit last night, Swoozy, that there are a few different ways that you can approach these corner kicks. Correct. You can, of course, launch it right into the thick of things, which is exactly what Stermy's going to do. Keeper's going to grab it, no problem. The other thing you could do, and we saw Cregan do it a few times last night, is you can hit that ball short and then try to set up an additional shot. Sometimes they'll hit it short and then chip it again, try to get those headers in there. Once again, eafra as Brazil in the yellow, and France in the blue. There you see eafra on the top, the Chicago player. He is playing in the yellow, and down below you see Stermy for the Optx in the blue. Right now, Stermy has the ball, just working it up the field, and definitely just passing it around and trying to get it down as quickly as he can. There's going to be, I think that might have gone off of that player's face out of bounds. But Stermy's going to get the throw in here. And, it's going to be another throw-in for Stermy, and he can work it all the way down the field this way. If he has to, he's going to go ahead and throw that one in short. Tries to clear it to the middle of the goal box. Stermy still got control of it. A long shot on goal. Keeper knows that one's going to go far right and just lets it go. There we see a replay of it right there. And, yeah, keeper kind of moved a little bit and then was like, nah, that's not going in. So we have, that's actually Stermy's second shot on goal.
Already his attempt. I mean, you almost didn't get through the intro before he had his first attempt.
Yeah, so maybe he's focusing on his aggression, his offense a little bit more today. But hold on. No, my goodness. eafra coming out. He basically was spending the entire game down on Stermy's side. And suddenly he comes out from nowhere, gets a beautiful pass to one of his forwards. Let's check this out again. And that was beautifully done. You saw that he avoided offsides there. It was a perfect pass right to the top of the goal box. You know, the keeper could have come out and tried to get that, but I think it probably would have been bad there for Stermy, and it was either way. That went deep into that goal, and now we have eafra up 1 goal over San Francisco Optx. And we were mentioning before that the Chimera really need to put together some points. It's going to make the overall score already 4-10 now. So every single one of those points counts. Looks like we had an offsides there. Oh, maybe we didn't. I'm not really sure what did happen there, but stermy is going to have a shot on goal. There's some sort of penalty, and we have a penalty kick coming in. It is launched. We're going to have a header. It looked like by eafra out of bounds, so that will set up the corner kick for stermy. Stermy's going to go ahead and launch it here, and he gets it. So that free kick there didn't really prove to be too beneficial for stermy. And now
eafra's coming again. This looks very familiar.
Yeah, and look at how much clear room he's got. He's going to set it right to the middle. And again, keeper could not get his hands on it. And now we got stermy counter-attacking and working his ball back up the court, the field.
The map?
Exactly. They're all the same, aren't they, Susan?
Yeah, I mean, it's gaming.
1-0 right now. eafra definitely playing a confident game. Stermy, you know, I saw him prior to. I said, Stermy, is it going to be 3-0 tonight? He said, well, maybe, you know, but I think that he takes every single game, you know, one at a time.
Yep.
Exactly. So, and you always got to with your opponent. You never know how that's going to work out. Stermy now getting a chance there to control the ball. He's going to send it all the way from left to right. It's a great little pass there to one of his strikers, and can't really do anything with it, but now he's going to regain control, pushes it back up. It looks like eafra is going to get a piece of that one and will clear it out, no problem. He's going to set it up the right side of the field, and this is basically where all of eafra's attacks have come from, that right side of the field. As he moves it up, he's going to send it out there once again. He likes this little pass right to the middle. He's going to juke past two of these defenders, and he was looking for someone to be there in the middle, but all that was there was Stermy's keeper, and he took it down easily.
Yeah, Stermy doesn't look too panicked about the situation right now. He looks like he's very cool, calm, collected.
I think that when you're down by 1 goal here in FIFA, it's nothing to get worried about either. You know, there's a lot of time left. We're still in the first half here. If you tie it up, you still, you know, if you don't get that second goal, at least you got a shootout opportunity, and you scored the points for your team. I mean, I think that Stermy right now, he might not even thinking I'm worried about losing. I think he might be thinking I'm worried about making sure that my team gets points.
Well, this is how it started off with Cregan as well. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Cregan got the first goal, and then Stermy came back and got 4.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. So we did see eafra with another attempt there on goal, once again coming in from that right side, Susie. It seems to be the side that he favors quite a bit. This time he's going to take it right through the middle, head over a nice little chip, and the keeper's going to be out there to scoop that one up. The regulation time in the first half is up, and we're going to basically be jumping right back into the second half once this ends. But it's not over yet. It could be one last opportunity here. Stermy's going to try to catch up and get a piece of that ball, but it's not going to happen here. He's going to now have to clear it out. And there it is, the half.
First half.
And you hear the applause as we get ready for the second half. And eafra doing a fantastic job here. 1-0, again, nothing to be worried about. 1 goal, that's easy to make up. I think when you want to be worried is, you know, when 2, 3 goals.
Start pulling
because
away.
Then you start thinking, well, okay, I need 2 to tie, and then I need 1 to win. So that's it starts to get a little tricky right there. We're now officially into the second half. And remember that we've switched sides. If you've just joined us, eafra from the Chicago Chimera is playing as Brazil in the yellow, and his opponent from the San Francisco Optx, Stermy, is playing as France in the blue. So Stermy with the ball right now at midfield, passing it up. Stermy definitely had, I think, the offensive sort of advantage at the beginning there, but eafra just kind of came out of nowhere with that goal early on. If Stermy can keep those attempts coming in his favor, then he's obviously going to have a much better time or better odds in trying to score that 1 goal to at least tie it up. Then he can start thinking about, okay, what do I need to do to secure this victory? And he's going to try to send it up to eafra's favorite side. eafra's going to stop him with his defenders and pass it around, spread things out a little bit. He sends it up midfield to his halfbacks, and now back once again So eafra also has the advantage of knowing that he's 1 goal up. He can sit here and play Ring Around the Rosie with his defenders all day long. He's finally going to clear it. And once again, this seems to be his favored position. Nicely. On the outside. Looked like it was about ready to go in. But a very nice attempt. That was a very deep pass into the goal box there by eafra. But it turned out to be at least an attempted shot on goal. Fortunately, couldn't do it. A nice header with an odd bounce there, coming up by Stermy, but the keeper of eafra has no problem holding that one down and making sure that ball doesn't go past into the goal. I wish that I could have seen the replay on eafra's shot, because it looked like he was pretty close to that post. Now just playing at the midfield here. eafra now working it up. Forward's got it. He's going to send it off to the right side. Then back to the middle. That's going to be offsides, pretty sure. Definitely looked like he was ahead of that defender there. You could see, you could see very early on as that pass was made, that defender for Stermy moved up 1 or 2 steps. And it was no problem for him to go ahead and call offsides. Offside trap is what that's called.
Well, eafra is really hungry. I mean, when he got drafted, he got up on that stage and he said, I was home for every episode watching this on DirecTV. I am so glad to be here. He's here now. He's hungry. He wants to get some W's for his team. Yeah,
absolutely. And you know, you gotta be thinking about that too. A lot of these new players, as we mentioned before, with Sacramento and Mixima, they've got that drive, and they don't have like the lingering myths and results of last season
hanging over them.
Yeah, exactly. So eafra is going to have a possible attempt right here. He makes that his favored pass that he likes to do from the outside forward to the middle of the goal box, and he couldn't do it that time. Stermy's defender will stop him short. Stermy making a long shot on goal. That was interesting. He knew that eafra's keeper came out quite a bit into the box, so he decided to go ahead and make a deep shot on goal. And if it was a little bit more centered right there, then he would have had it. And here we go. Nice, chipped it in. Stermy's going to hold on to that one, but Stermy's got to be thinking about that goal.
Clock is ticking down.
Right now, eafra's going to go ahead and get a piece of that. He sends it back to his keeper. And Stermy will regain control. 80 minutes, virtual minutes on the clock now. That means 10 virtual minutes left. It's about a minute. So if you consider that, there's not a whole lot of time left for Stermy to make a move here. Looks like that one went, out of bounds. And, wow, eafra sends it very, very close to the goal there from the side. Stermy clears that out with the header. He's going to get a nice pass. Stermy has a breakaway here, and he's going to go for it. Stermy does it. Beautiful job on the breakaway. Stermy does it. It's 1-1, and not only does that tie the game up, Swoozy, but also that gives that additional point to Optx. Here's that replay. Look at these 3 defenders going, oh man, that was a bad decision on our part. Stermy just locked and loaded, fired away, and that went deep, deep, deep into that goal there. And Stermy has tied it up. We said maybe he heard the warning call there.
Yeah.
You've got 1 minute left, Stermy. That was his time to turn it up a little bit.
He said, okay, I will do it now.
And these guys, hold on. eafra gets his breakaway outside. Wow. Just right of the goal, just right. And you know what, Susie, I just wanted to point out that is why these guys are here in the CGS. They don't break down when it's 1-0 and there's a few minutes left to go.
They used to the pressure.
Exactly.
That's one thing eafra might not have coming into this, is not being used to that amount of pressure that 9 other guys are depending on you to bring these points.
You're absolutely right, and having that just definitely distinguishes these professional players in the CGS from some of the other players in the circuit, and definitely between the amateurs as well. But Stermy's really trying to make his way up there, and actually both players are, obviously, because it will come down to a shootout.
Looks like it.
If we do not see a score here. It did look like the clock had gone into injury time, and it's going to be just very short seconds for anyone to make any sort of a move here on the goals. Stermy may be the last one to get an opportunity here. chipping it to the middle now. eafra now with control, taking over midfield, is going to pass it off to the right side, then the left side.
Right.
And this is actually looking like a decent setup here for him. If he can get a nice pass, he's not going to be able to get a shot from that angle. He does attempt it anyway, and keeper got a piece of it here, so we might have one final corner kick here. You could see, yep, I think the keeper definitely, yep, he fired that over the top of the goal. So this is going to be it. eafra, one final corner kick. Oh my goodness. A great shot, though. He didn't power it far into the goal box. He hit a little short, and, well, Stermy's keeper was on top of things right there.
Denied.
Someone make sure that guy gets a pay raise. But we're going to have a corner kick as a result before it, and Stermy's got it. He clears that out, no problem. It seems like we had a lot of extra time on the clock here.
All right,
there it is. There it is.
They hurt you.
And now we're going to go to a shootout.
Here we go. Action-packed now.
And we're going to get to see these players' faces as they prepare for the shootout. Now, the way that this works, Susie, is that there are basically 3 shots on goal.
Correct.
Okay, so you do not want to miss those 3 shots per team, rather. And you obviously do not want to, you know, miss those at all.
And each point counts toward the overall team score.
That is absolutely correct. So there are obviously additional points to be made here. Now, I'm not sure if Chicago necessarily wanted it to go into the scenario where these the shootout could basically turn into extra points for the Optics.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, I wonder how Chicago is sort of, you know, what's going through the team's head and general manager's head at the time. I believe what's happened here is they have the opportunity to play extra time or else go to a shootout. They might have actually gone to extra time. So let's talk about this shootout scenario. Let's just say that eafra gets 3 and, you know, Stermy only gets 1.
Right.
That is going to be probably the best case scenario for Chicago in this situation, is they are going to want to try to play Miss Cleo, like you said, look into that crystal ball and block those goals, because Stermy, by tying that up, got the extra point, and then additionally was able to set up additional points that could come from the shootout.
This could help in overall. It come down to the last, you know, point or two. We saw a few nights ago how the shootouts can be crucial when it comes down to the overall franchise score.
And the shootout is kind of like a guessing game because, you know, the player can shoot high, low, up, down. But let's look at the scoreboard now. Even though we're going into overtime for FIFA, you can see that the score has slightly changed. An additional point added to the Chimera as well as Optx. That will make it 4 points for Chimera, 11 points for the Optx, 7 points still separating these two teams. But as I mentioned, Swoozie, this shootout, this tie, it plays heavily in favor of the San Francisco Optx, because if Stermy, you know, getting the win too, 3 goals. Also consider that if both players sink their 3 goals, they keep on going. So the way that it could work out is that the 7-point barrier could never be broken here by Chicago.
We could be here for a while. These chairs are comfortable, though, so I'm good.
I'm glad they are, too. So we also, coming up after FIFA, we're still waiting for the match to get set up. But after FIFA, we've got Counter-Strike Source. A lot of points to be made up there. So those 7 points could just quickly diminish there for the Optx. However, Counter-Strike has been really big for the Optx already in the regular season. So it'll be, you know, it'll be interesting to see if they're going to bring their A game the same way they've been bringing it the last 2 nights.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I mean, during the offseason, didn't we have San Francisco winning some Counter-Strike tournaments?
Oh, yeah.
So these guys, they're not fooling around. I mean, they want the W for the team as well. But I'm sure that's what Stermy's thinking right now. It's like, this shootout, that's great that, you know, okay, I want to win this one, because then I have 3-0.
And don't forget, we talked to Kat Hunter last night after her win. That basically gave her team a 2-0 victory in the North America regular season. And she said that she was very happy with her new CS players, that she feels like they mix well with the team. And many people question if those players would, because if you've seen the 2007 season, which I'm sure many of you have, you saw that fire and that fury that Optx brought with him. Well, what happens to that dynamic when you suddenly introduce 2 new players?
It's risky.
It is risky. But at the same time, Kat having a lot of experience, realizing what her team needs to do right. There are so many things that go into those picks and thinking about that dynamic of a Counter-Strike team. You've got to know how all the other teams play as well as your own team.
How they're going to fuse with the new people, the new faces.
Exactly.
But I would definitely say Kat Hunter is an excellent judge of character.
Oh, I think so too. And many people last year were like, well, let's see if, what does Kat know about picking a Counter-Strike team? Well, ask that question again, because I think she knows an awful lot. And she's shown that. Her CS Source team that she chose last year in 2007 was the #2 team.
Definitely.
They're obviously wanting to set themselves up to be #1 this year, and they've added and shifted around some talent a little bit. Shootout starting. Let's go to it right here.
All right.
1-1 is where it was tied.
Comes down to this.
And it comes down to this, just like you said. It looks like Stermy's going to be the first to fire on the goal, and it will just be quick fire back and forth. Stermy goes for it. Shot to the upper right. It is successful. Stermy grabs it.
eafra. Bing.
eafra. He gets his. We're now tied 1-1. Oh, Stermy makes the shot, went for the low right. eafra grabbed it. eafra goes in.
Got it.
Wow, eafra does grab that one. It's going to be big for Chicago.
Stermy's got to make this
Stermy
one.
must win.
Oh,
wow, another one blocked. And huge! That, you know what? I'm shocked actually. Let me tell you why I'm shocked, Susie, because we were setting up the hypothetical scenario of what would happen if Chicago got 3 goals and Optx only got 1. Well, that's exactly what happened, and that's what Chicago needed to have happen if they wanted to start to close that gap, that 7-point gap that Optx has over them. So that should make the score overall for that game actually 4-2, which would obviously add some points on Stermy's side. Yeah, he got a loss, but he's 2-1 now in the season. However, he got those 2 additional points for Optx, 4 points for the Chicago Chimera from eafra.
5, I think, that was where it's at right now.
Yeah, that it's going to be very, very close, and we're going to be taking a look at this scoreboard in just a minute. But first, we've got sideline reporter Cammie down with Chicago Chimera eafra. Cammie?
Thanks, sweet. Hey, for congratulations. I want to know, how did your defense play into this game against Stermy?
My defense? Actually, my defense against Stermy wasn't that good. But it's always going to be difficult against Stermy because he's such a good attacking player. So I just worried about trying to block as many shots as I could, because when he got past the halfway line, it was really tough. He's so good on the attack. So what I did was just prayed for the best.
All right, well, congratulations and good luck. Back to you, Wheat.
Thank you, Cammie, and thank you, eafra. Congratulations for that win, winning in the shootout 4-2. And now we'll be taking a look at the big scoreboard. There you see it right now. Went from 7-point lead down to a 5-point lead, Swoozie. And we've still got, well, 2 more games left to go. Counter-Strike Source as well as Dead or Alive Male. And Counter-Strike is up now, Swoozie.
I think we should get into
I'm excited for this Counter-Strike matchup. Optx, they've been showing a fantastic form so far here in this in the regular season. You know, Chicago Chimera, they've shifted things around a little bit too, looking to bring it back home for GM Brian Flander, and we're going to find out if they could do it right here. Let's introduce the teams. First up, Chicago, we've got DeBears, Hahn, Laurie, Tripp, and Stevenson. We'll see these guys live setting up right now. There they are. Always cool, always calm. There you see General Manager Brian Flander behind him, Stevenson. And they're ready to rock and roll. Let's meet their opponents, the San Francisco Optx, War Machine, GRT, Mo, Clown, and Paradox. And these guys had a fantastic win last night. Made Kat Hunter very, very proud. And you can see all the Optx players ready to lend their support here for this matchup. Now, we are going to be introducing the map in just a moment, but first, let's find out how Counter-Strike works. If you don't know, here's a breakdown.
Counter-Strike Source is a first-person shooter that pits 2 5-man teams against each other. A team of terrorists versus a team of counter-terrorists. Each round, the terrorist goal is to plant and detonate a bomb. The counter-terrorist goal is to defuse their bomb. Another effective way to win the round is for either team to eradicate all members of the opposite team. The game is split into 2 halves consisting of 9 rounds each, and each round lasts 80 seconds. At halftime, the terrorist and counter-terrorist teams switch roles. The first team to win 10 rounds wins the game, but every winning round counts as 1 point towards the team's match total.